Alright everybody, welcome back to Oof to Premium, and in this edition we are going to showcase our brand new board. So take a look at it right here. It's a spectacular job by Print and Play. That's the print company that helped me out with all these components. And they did a wonderful job, and so we're showcasing it here. If you have any board game needs, if it comes to publishing or manufacturing, and you want to do some prototyping, they're the place to go. So check them out on the web sometime if you get a chance. That would be awesome. So in the meantime, to showcase this, we're going to go through and we're just going to go ahead and play the normal game. I'm going to simulate a 3-player game, but it's just myself. And we'll go from there. As far as major updates in the game, there aren't that many, except for a major one that we're going to explore, which is the concept of 3 and 4 crop combos. This is another idea I kicked around. I couldn't quite figure it out. It was a struggle, major struggle. But I think we figured it out for now. And if there's any enhancements, maybe we'll discover them along the way. So why don't you go ahead and join me, and let's get started. Okay, starting out. The main thing you might have noticed is that if you check out these tiles, these lovely tiles here, these are the veggies, right? And now they've improved. They're bigger. It's easier to read, and it's also easier to handle. You know, one thing if you're a designer out there and you're trying to figure out what kind of thickness or cardstock or ply that you need for your components, you might want to consider UV protected and other kinds of protections that might be available to you, because those oils on your hands, after a long wear and tear of the product, you'll find that you might need those, right? So anything that's handled a lot, for sure. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. We have everything ready for a 3-player game, 3-grower game rather. Okay, so here's 2. We're still doing the quick start, right? And so that's going to be, you can't ever roll 1, you can't ever roll a 3, and you can't sabotage anyone. It's kind of just like a safe zone. It's a safe zone for everybody to get the ball up and rolling, and then once that's established, you can kind of go from there. So there's 2. That's, 2 is the one wild card number, and I'm not ever quite sure what to do to start off with. So we'll just do something like this. Okay. Here's a 6. Probably start with a nice crop at the beginning. Yeah, with any product out there, it's kind of hard to escape linearity. The first few moments are going to probably feel the same or similar, but if it were chess, this is the equivalent of openings in chess, but there's also very robust middle game in Uta. So see, I have the chance early, even though technically it's supposed to be a safe haven. The 2 roll is still active, and it means you can do something defensive. You can move somebody else's crop up and down. I think at this point, maybe I'll take that into consideration for the final game. Maybe that's an amendment, something that needs to be changed or altered for the future. I think we'll just keep it as is for now. So I'm going to move this person's squash down a spot. Not that much harm. But notice that you can do quite a bit of harm with the die roll 2. Especially if it's on the top. If it's a 12 and it bumps down to the 1, then that person's got egg on their face, because it's like, major mistake. You gotta really account for what others can do in the game to you. All right, 6. Okay, So here's a productive roll for our player number 1. Sometimes it's a good idea maybe to copycat. You know, here we have the same crop as this person. That's never a bad idea. You know, they have a vested interest in what they're doing. They probably don't want to get rid of it, right? So it's probably going to be held in high favor for the duration of a round or two as they try to get their stuff up and going. Not only that, after they get done harvesting, it bumps up in value a spot. So if you're coming on the tail end of that, that's pretty good news, right? What we haven't done, though, is we haven't paid for stuff, which we need to do. Now, one flaw you'll notice is I still have these old 1 tokens. Look at the difference, though. Like the difference between here's the old ones and here's the new, right? Look at the thickness. Wonderful job, again, by Print and Play. Outstanding work. But for now, I just happen to have the wrong amount. You know, there's a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures and regrets with UFTA, just like in life. And one of the things I regret is trying to calculate the number of 1 tokens I needed. Turns out I needed more than I thought. So, anyway. So we got 4 here. 2 in the cup. Alright, so moving on. 4. Awesome, productive. Let's go ahead and pay for that too. It's 2 in the cup. 3 back home. Yeah, so as far as like basic math skills, if you wanna do well in UFTA, the one thing it does help to have just basic math skills. You don't have to have an advanced degree in mathematics or engineering or anything like that, just to enjoy the pleasures of UFTA. But having those things will definitely enhance your experience. So, you know, the math whizzes out there, they would probably get a kick out of this game once they get a chance to play it. Okay, so we're going to harvest, cultivate and harvest over here. Squash on the wrong one. Oh, it's on the right one, so it's 12 tokens. Here's 12 tokens. And we're going to go back. Now notice how, let's see, here we have carrots. I have a 3 for 1. I'm going to take care of the 3 for 1. It's not always in your favor to do that, you know. Sometimes a 3 for 1, here's 3. I'm going to get rid of them. Put 1 back. Or take 1 out, rather. I don't know what it's going to be. It's my choice. Now I could angle for the UFTA early on, right? I know it's going to be cucumber, kale, peas. Looks like broccoli might make it, so why don't we try some broccoli? Add some broccoli to the pile. Now notice how, I don't put the 3 back in, right? I'm going to grab what I want to finish out with the rule of the weight cue tray, which always has to have 6 items in it. Then I'm going to put these back, right? Mix them up. Okay. So there's that. 4 is productive. So they're going to get on the board. Wow, everybody's... nobody has any original thoughts or ideas. Let's check it out. It's more of the same. Second verse, same as the first. But I'm not Henry VIII, so... Okay, last email. Okay, so there's squash. Yeah, we gotta pay for it. Oh yeah, you have to pay for that. Yeah, thank you, capitalism. Okay, so here's 2. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit in UFTA, you know, philosophically, politically even, if you want to be political. You don't have to be political. It's kind of nice. But you can bring up some interesting concepts with your friends and families regarding, I don't know, just basic equity, fairness, whether or not there should be alterations or changes made. What creates the best game experience? What do we need in this direction? We're gonna play. Okay, so here's the broccoli going in the ground. We're feeling good about that. Everybody loves a clown. I mean broccoli. So there we go. Except that Kathy. Did she not like the clown or did she? I forgot how that song goes. Kathy has trouble with the clowns, maybe, because it's from It. Okay, here's 2. Don't blame her. Okay, so here's a 2, squash. It's going to move up in value. Oh, man, so here's a perfect case where the 2 roll. It negatively affects other players, and it positively affects the 1 player. So it's the ideal play, right? You're playing offense and defense at the same time. That's what you like to see. Okay, so now we're going to start the game for real. No more safety zone. No more easy street. Okay, here's 5. 5 is productive. So we're going to plant, cultivate. The squash on squash action is 11 tokens. Yeah, these beautiful tokens. I'm so proud of Print and Play. So thank you for doing this. But they look wonderful. I was pleasantly surprised by how good those turned out. So. Because after all, I send the source material. I send the source material, and look at me. Yeah, that guy needs help. Yeah, creating board games is difficult. Hang on to the people who know how to do this, because I think they're rare. Haven't gambled. Gonna gamble. 2. Alright. So here's a key moment in the opening, right? We're still kind of in opening positions. Squash is at the top. I can move that squash down. And then definitely affect my opponents. Okay, here's a 1. 1 is unfortunate. Oh man, the flood card. Flood card is number 1. You know, this currently says remove all crops from the field. I changed that to 3/4, and I did that because I don't want the negative aspects of gameplay to overwhelm the positive. And one of the negatives is just bad things happen, and they just seem to have no reason. There's no rhyme or reason. Okay, so they're gonna have to part ways with squash. Ironically bumps it back up. Okay. So now we're moving on. Kale's ripe and ready out there. Anybody has planted it? Looks like they haven't. Get rid of this. That's a 1. I have no choice with the 1. It's the most perfunctory thing you can do in Upton. Okay. Not gonna gamble. 2. What do I do with the 2? How do you solve a problem like Maria? I mean, you can't hold moonbeams in your hand, right? So it's gonna be... I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do sometimes, which is wonderful, right? If you want an evergreen experience, something that people can enjoy like for the rest of forever, that's what we're trying to do here. Pretty lofty mission. one. It's not what we want. But we're safe from it for now. Okay, broccoli. Broccoli's looking hot. We got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 back. This and this. Okay, so we got broccoli in the wrong spot, but we're still raking it in because we scored 11 big ones. Now I should talk a little bit about instead of competitive play, you can take advantage of cooperative play. You don't have to play competing with everybody all the time, which maybe you've noticed life. A lot of people are big proponents of competition and competing all the time. And sometimes they have a point, because it can lead to stagnation. If you're not in a competitive mood at some point, we don't want to stagnate too much. But we likewise don't want to indulge too much in our competitive side, because that can land us in trouble as well. So, slow and steady wins the race if you're a turtle. Okay, spinach. I don't know what to do with this spinach. Let's just get going. Okay, so far a pretty standard game. No surprises yet, but watch out for fireworks later in middle game and end game, okay? Because that's where the action lies. Flag doesn't affect us. 6. I mean, I could sabotage. Notice that you can sabotage fields. Fields are always up for grabs. But that's kind of a nasty thing to do. I don't know if it's worth sabotaging someone's field. Maybe if they're a clear leader, they need to be taken down. Okay, so here's a 6. Let's go with broccoli. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Broccoli's in the 2 spot. Almost the top spot. 5. Why don't we try out some carrots today? They look like they're aching to go. Okay. Cultivating as well. Cultivating just means you're going to keep something in good condition. From an agricultural standpoint, it's kind of the part that gets neglected. You got to devote more manpower to it, or whatever you want to call it, more labor. Try to avoid some of the patriarchal acronyms. You know, everything is a fight. Everything, language is a fight, right? Makes life harder, not easier. Okay, so here's 2. We're gonna knock that broccoli down. Okay. 5 is productive. So you notice how there's not a whole lot of trading going on. The other aspect of gameplay that kind of gets neglected is snoodling, right? Snoodling requires quite a degree of sophistication. You kind of need to know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, you can anticipate some of the moves of other growers and get a jump on them. Get a jump on what they're trying to do and trying to accomplish. And that foreknowledge can kind of result in better play for yourself. So, there's broccoli. Yeah, we're going to harvest some broccoli. It's on the wrong one. That's okay. Draw Broccoli is only going to get one bonus of 3 tokens, so that's 13, 10 plus 3. Alright. Now, as far as math goes, there is some, there's some basic stuff going. There's percentages. With the adversity cards, you need to know percentages. What can befall you? What are the negative, nasty things that can happen? And what are the positive things you can do to alleviate those problems? Moving on, get these broccoli radishes. Pretty quiet first round, not a whole lot of scoring. This person needs to get on the board. 4. I don't have the best items this time. So let's try it. Okay. Looking pretty good. Looks like sabotage. This person now has an opportunity to buy the disc. The disc is a common first purchase. I'm not going to say it's always the first purchase, but it's just kind of nice. It gives you the advantage of seeing everything in your field to maybe tack on a bonus to all those harvests, right? Okay, so we bought the disc and the disc. 5 productive. That's what we were looking for. Carrots. Carrots is gonna be our first action. Grab 8 tokens. It's over here. We got a second action coming. Carrots. No beans for you. Okay. Cucumber, cowpeas, radishes, chard. Yeah, we'll move it forward. So far, pretty even game. Everyone's scored. Well, they haven't scored prodigiously, right? So, kind of gamble. Okay, 4 productive. Broccoli. Okay, so that's looking good. Cucumber, cowpeas, chard, there's a radishes, chard. We go to potatoes. I pretty much have the order memorized. I mean, it's my game after all. But, the order of the crops is kind of specific to, they have to be in a certain order because I didn't want anybody to just be able to memorize what's on their fields and then just go from there and figure things out. There's got to be some challenge involved. So, crop order is unusual. It doesn't fit the pattern of the fields. Oh, look at that. Now, here's the greatest, what do you call it? Deus ex machina? Or the god in the machines, right? We get this lucky, just lightning strike out of nowhere. But that's like life, isn't it? I mean, Oofta, the secondary title of Oofta should be the game of life, because it really is. This reflects quite a bit from reality in life. You need to pick up certain skills. You need to understand how to maneuver and negotiate. How to gain leverage, that sort of thing. That gets us into wrestling. I sucked at wrestling. Okay, so here's 5. Okay. I'm gonna go with chard. Okay, that's that. 6 sabotage. Yeah, we'll sabotage the broccoli. Or, no. They're on broccoli. We'll get rid of chard or corn. We'll get rid of corn. This person wants to get rid of corn, but I think this person over here wants to negotiate. Because, you know, they want to keep their corn, they want to score. It's worth it to them to give up a valuable piece. But again, all the progress depends on what this person says. They kind of have the leverage. So I'm going to say, here, you can take some corn. And they say, I will do so. And remove my beans. Okay. So everything looks good. Now, notice how, since the negotiation was successful, there's still 2 actions. Right? Because nothing was sabotaged. If it were sabotaged, that would cost an action. So over here, we still have 2 things we can do. So we're just going to cultivate and harvest our broccoli. Catching us up to our opponents. Broccoli is 11. Yeah, I could never figure out what age range this game would be most appealing to, because, you know, there's some prodigies out there. I don't think you necessarily have to be a prodigy to enjoy this game at a younger age, but I think on the whole, probably your teen years and up. You know, if you can put down the video games for like 3 seconds, there's a lot you can learn from Oopta, believe it or not. I don't have any objection to video games. I like video games growing up. But one thing they don't do is they don't teach you anything. Not really. It's a lot of empty calories. You know, unless you want to be in the army, then you can learn everything there is to know about weapons. Your tactical maneuvers. Kale. I think we're down a score. Oh, that's right. Okay, my bad. Anyway, moving on. Cucumber, peas, potatoes, carrots. Okay, 4 is productive. We have corn. So we'll get rid of. What do we do? 10 and 9 back. So we're harvesting our corn. That's our first action. First action, and it's going to be 8 tokens. 8 tokens. Like that. Now we have a second action. We have plenty of funds. Probably should have bought something sooner. We'll buy the harvester. Bear in mind that the harvester also confers the benefit of if you get to the end of the game, the person who owns the harvester can still collect tokens as everyone is finishing their final harvest, unless those other people own the farm crew. The farm crew nullifies any bonuses from any of the essential equipment items whether it be the disc, seeder, cultivator, harvester. They don't get, nobody gets to score off of those items in final harvest, except for the harvester. So it's a caveat, it's a unique trait of that particular item. Yeah, I got another action. I thought the harvester, no, so that's it. Okay. Chard. Yeah, we'll move chard up. Line up. Forest production. A little too early for this grower to think about buying anything, so let's just see what happens if I. Oops, sorry, I'm only turning over one. It's gonna be squash. 5. There's 3 back. 2 in the cup. Makes us feel happy and good. Okay. We want to protect this. See, that's another kind of a key question. If you know the flood card has been played, that's something to think about, right? Like, is it worth putting protections out? Maybe, right? I think in this case it is. Risk a little bit to gain, right? What is that old saying? You can't make money and... no, it takes money to make money. That's the old saying. Which is unfortunate, because that's completely circular logic. Potatoes, carrots... And it's a problem, right? Because if you recognize that, governments everywhere, they exist along a premise of everything about the government, whatever it is virtuous. Because all the laws favor the government continuing to exist. And that's why Thomas Jefferson was kind of a genius, because he recognized, no, governments are prone to, special interests and other things, right? And so, Jefferson, founder of the Declaration of Independence and one of the founding fathers, he's the one that decided, hey, wait a minute, this whole system is prone to tyranny and dictatorship and other things, whatever you want to call it. It's prone to misuse. So you gotta make amendments and atone, or maybe atone for the sins of the past, and try to light the way forward for all the forward progressive thinkers out there. Anyway, here's a 1. Okay. 4 is excellent. First action is to harvest chard. It's kind of tricky with the 2 actions, especially if you're harvesting first, because harvesting is a multi-step process and it does take a while. You have to kind of be savvy, keep in the back of your mind, like, wait, I did this and I still have another action coming to me, right? So here's chard. Chard on chard is worth 11 tokens. So here's the fundamental thing. You have to finish the harvest, and by that I mean you flip over the field, you grab the replacement crop, like this. Alright. And then we recognize that we have a second action. What's that going to be? Okay. What is that going to be? Going to be another purchase. Everybody looks like they're getting ready to cultivate, so why not play the cultivator? Passive income, right? That's a big deal. If you get something where you have a passive income, boy, that's a wonderful thing. You'll feel way better. Okay, here's a 2. Squash. How are we gonna do this? Why don't we move it up? Those are wonderful decorative items around Halloween, so they should be high priority. Corn goes to beans. 4 is productive. And what do we do? This person may be ready for a purchase too. Let's see. Yeah, so clearly there's an advantage for these two growers, grower A and grower B. Grower C's kind of had a tough time at the start. But I think you're going to find out that the more you play Hoopta, the more you realize just because there's a few opportunities lost, it doesn't mean you should just fold your hands and cave in and give up. There's so much game left to play that there's plenty of opportunities to right your ship and get back in it. Okay, so there's that. Oops. Now, see, I made a mistake here, so check it out. Here we have only 3 tokens left after paying for the cedar. And it turns out you need at least 4 tokens minimum, bare minimum, to function as a farm. And to revitalize the farm and provide the next harvest, you have to have those. That baseline minimum, 4 tokens. Okay, so here. Yeah, we bought the cedar, and now we're going to disc. Knowing full well that we're unfortunately going to have to go bankrupt. Suffer an early bankruptcy, but again, just because you suffer a few setbacks doesn't mean you should hang your head, because you can always climb back and rebound. Resiliency. It's an overused word. Okay, 4. Yeah, human beings are not rubber bands, okay? They suffer loss and pain. Okay, so here, and that should be acknowledged. Chard. What do we want to do? Chard. We're not gonna gamble. No gamble. Haven't gambled. Hey, yes. I'm reluctant to gamble anymore. I've been hit hard by. You can really lose at gambling. That's probably not a secret to anybody. You can definitely lose out. You know, smart people gamble and they lose. And then you're like, why is this smart person losing so much? They're smart. Well, that doesn't mean they aren't susceptible to gambling, taking big risks. Risks that are too big. But it does seem a little bit sanctimonious that the same agencies that want you to acknowledge that you have a gambling problem or what have you are the same people creating the problem, right? It's like, here's the solution. We created the problem. If the problem goes away, then you don't have the gambling problem. Or if the gambling goes away, right? Okay, anyway. We'll get rid of that. There we go. All right, so we're getting down to the end of the round, which means that's usually a ripe time to look for opportunities on die roll 2 to maybe purchase a card, because then that presents another money-making opportunity. Right? Haven't gambled. Not gonna gamble. Oops. 1, 4. Okay, so we're harvesting squash. Digging into the old tokens. Yeah, originally it's 90 tokens for, it should be for a complete game. That should give you plenty of opportunity, and even if you have to switch out, grab into your flight bulbs, it's okay. It's not that annoying, but it is kind of a slowdown to the game. Okay, so squash. Squash on squash is 11. Pretty exciting playing the inaugural game with the all the new updated components. Feeling really good about that. And if there's any flubs, they're minor. They're minor in nature. They're not any major gaffes by me or by the print professionals. Radishes. Okay. Now spinach goes to squash. Nothing to sabotage, so we'll just forge ahead. Okay, so now I'm planting and I'm cultivating. One thing you always want to keep in mind is, you know, if you have opportunities or advantages coming your way, you really got to seize the day, carpe diem those things. Because it's so easy to miss out, right? You can make mistakes, not pay attention. It's just so easy to miss all the advantages thrown your way. Miss out on them. Probably need to extend like focus skills. I struggle with focus sometimes, I guess. I attribute that to age mostly, but you know, there's some impressive people out there who can extend their focus for just vast periods. Very valuable workers, I'm sure. Okay, so yeah, we went bankrupt. So we went bankrupt, so we got our cash, but now we're going to have a severe penalty, lose our best crop, and that hurts. Yeah, UFTA is a game of subtlety. You know, having a penalty like this could be the difference in a game, because it's like 10, 12 points down the drain. Those are so vital late in the game. Okay, so we went bankrupt, and we're done. Okay. No, here's what I was talking about. Excellent. Opportunity to buy the card. Do that for 5 tokens. Keep the card. To keep or not to keep, right? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to yada yada yada. In modern parlance. Okay. So yeah, that's it. 5 is productive. I think we're not ready to spend. We're not ready to spend big. Farm production, so we're just going to okay. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Squash goes to juice. Okay, so we started the growing season over. Gambling debts reset. And then whoever has a card something's not right. How did they get money already? I already did that. Got ahead of myself. Oh. Anyway, moving on. Charge. shard on the wrong one is worth 10 tokens. 10 tokens. Silver. Do I want to keep the spinach? Here's a tough call, okay? So check it out, I got spinach, right? Now, because 2-crop combos are going to be in the near future, I have to figure out what do I want to do with the secondary crops that I start to acquire. Do I want to keep them or do I want to discard? Because, you know, it may be just right around the bend that I acquire the sister crop in the 2-crop combo relationship. And then, you know, now I'm sitting pretty if I do that. So I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it and I'm going to discard a low item. Luckily I have one. That's usually the deciding factor for me. Do I have low crops that I can just discard? The distaff, isn't that what it's called? Something like that. Okay, so here's 4. 4 is potatoes and broccoli, spinach. Let's go with corn. There's 3 back. There's 2 cooked. Okay. Alright. Moving on. Excellent. Scoring opportunity. Cultivating and harvesting. Shard on the wrong one is where a healthy 11. Now this player is fully caught up to their peers. Right? Okay, so here's the cucumber. Here's the can. Yeah, you'll find several doctors trumpeting the virtues of kale, and I agree with them. You know, it's kind of a super. It's touted as a superfood, but you know, more leafy greens on your plate probably do wonders for you. I mean, I'm well past my prime, and yet, no, try to eat some healthier stuff. Very difficult to work off the belly fat. Tremendously difficult. Yeah, the metabolism slows way down. You're like, man, I barely touch any food, and it's like, I just can't. I just added like 15 pounds. Like, man. Anyway, here's 2. Okay. Over here we have corn, and we are productive with that. First, we're going to take care of business. You know, you can do general housekeeping, right? You can get rid of this. Take this off of here. That's rescuing the marker token, right? From the adversity card. That's technically called, what is that called? Liquidation. Liquidation. Okay, so here's corn. We're going to do the first action, which is harvest. Not on the right one, unfortunately. And then after that, we have a second action after we finish the harvest. Kale. Second action. How are we doing on money? Not that much, but we have 2 advantages here. So here's where, you know, there's different calculations that you have to make. You know, if you play chess, there's calculations you have to make. Just some basic stuff as far as keeping tempi or keeping the momentum going, if you want to call it that. Making sure you have game pressures on the opponent at all times, right? Well, in UPTA, you sort of have a similar scenario. Like like over here, I want to keep the pressure on everybody else. And I have to keep track of my finances, right? Check it out. So I have the disc, I have the cultivator. That means it's going to cost essentially 8 fewer tokens if I bring anything to harvest in tandem, right? If I want to bring 2 items, that puts me into the multiple crop field space rule, right? That's where the elevated cost comes from. So what we're going to do is maybe try something out. First we have to see if I even have anything, and I don't. Alright, so that rules that out. I'll just plant a single item. I could try peas. I don't have very good crops at the moment, if you see. I only have low stuff, so what I'm going to do is see if I can take advantage of that undercut crop. Try to grow it. Kind of a risky thing to do, though. You know? Depending on when you do it. You know, time matters. Timing matters, rather, I should say. Okay. Okay, so we have a 1. Turn 3 crops to uncultivated. Don't have to do that. Cover king of peas. 4. Yes. Now we're getting more serious. Still don't have quite, you know, this grower doesn't have quite enough to go on a growing spree, and so we have to keep it simple, unfortunately. That's my best item. Cucumbers looks good. Alright. Okay, so here's a 5. 5 is productive. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to have happen. Peas don't happen to be on the right one, but it's 30 tokens. So now we've activated it. Peas turns sideways, notice, on the farm to indicate to everyone that yes, we are in fact trying to grow that undercut crop. But that also has a tendency to make us a target. So we'll have to see how that goes. Ooh, this is wonderful. Look at that. So now I got some reassurance in case something happens. I can stay focused. Okay, so now we're looking very savvy. 2. We'll bump 5 tokens off of the peas. That's kind of just a fun thing you can do. If you don't happen to be invested in the undercut crop, you can act against it. Okay. So peas, cucumber kale peas, broccoli, what's next? 5 is productive. And maybe I haven't played a full game since I added these shields. You know, you can't see even the taller ones. Notice how when you're looking at this, the tops of these exceed the top of the tray, but since the blocker's on there, everything remains hidden to your opponents. Okay, so here's a 1. We're going to pay 1 and cultivate or harvest cucumbers. And we're not going to pay 1 because we own the harvester. Once again, here I made the mistake not noticing that. Own the harvester. So cucumbers is 8 tokens. And we have a second action. Here's next item. Looking pretty good. We already have that. So here's a case where I'm forced to keep something, even though I already have a representative of it. Trying to get rid of it. Get rid of my carrots. Okay. And I gotta do my second action. Now we're getting into the serious stuff. This is where the 3 and 4 crop combos that's kind of come into play. Okay, so what we want to do. We want to plant 2, 4. One back, 4 in the cup. Okay, so that goes like that. 5 is productive. 5 is productive. So do that. Squash, corn, potatoes. Now we have 3 piece, check it out. So, now what we're gonna do is we are going to switch these out and plant some squash. So here we're coming up on our first 2 crop combo attempt, right? We're trying to figure this out. There it is. Okay. So we're going to pay 4 to do that. 2, 4, 6, 8. Here. Yikes. This is dangerous stuff. The reason I hesitate is because this is a risky thing to do. I only have 10 tokens. I have an adversity card though. But you know, if things don't work out in this corner, there's a lot of drama, a lot of tension and excitement because you know, they could be wiped out by others or by just standard adversities. Oops. I don't want to draw the P's. Right, so that threat is kind of always looming. You know, you got to take some risks in UVTA. There's no question about it. You're not always rewarded, but most of the time, you know, it helps to take a risk once in a while. Okay. So we're going to pay, we get 6 back. 4 goes in the cup. But that's like life, right? You got to take some chances. You got to make some projections. Take some risks. Okay, so here's a 4. Yeah. Now we have some interesting stuff. I think we're finally going to put this grower C has kind of been lagging behind. They're going to put some pressure on their fellow growers by owning this thing, right? Okay. So we're going to pay 20, we get 2 back. And then we're going to keep track of it in our ledger, our flight bulb. It's going to be 18. into the cup. Okay. Now, that was our first action. Our second action is, well, lo and behold, check it out. Look what happened. This person acquired the trading house just at the right time. They can move anything they want. They're going to move this person's squash and potatoes, specifically potatoes. And now they disrupted a two-crop combo, right? So that's how the give and take, the tug of war between offense and defense starts to prevail. And it would reveal itself. Okay, so here's broccoli, cucumber, peas, broccoli, radishes. 6 is a sabotage. Wow, so I could sabotage even on top of having those things moved. I don't think I want to do that. I think this person wants to focus on what they have. Which isn't much, unfortunately. Only one sure item. Oh, no, that's right. 2-crop combo. Ah, okay. So timeout. Here's a perfect example in the middle game. A middle game principle is what we're trying to jockey for position in the market, and we're trying to score as much as we can. We have a 2-crop combo possibility in this corner because they own cucumbers, potatoes, and bam. Okay, but they also own spinach, right? Here's the spinach. So what does that mean? Well, if I harvest cucumbers and potatoes and spinach is adjacent vertically to either the cucumbers or the potatoes, and it is, it means I can harvest. When I go to harvest 3 items, that's a 3-crop combo, and what happens is I can sum up the total amount of the regular harvest amount, and then I can multiply by 3 instead of 2. 2-crop combo is 2, 3-crop combo is 3, and then a 4-crop combo is 4. So this makes a difference. Do I have the funds to do this, though? I have 2 items here. I've got to think through this. How much is it really going to cost me? It's going to be 3 phases. 2 of those phases are going to be free. So all I have to do is worry about cultivating 3 crops. So if I'm going to cultivate 3 crops at the same time, it's going to be 3 times 2 is 6. So that's kind of where the basic math shows up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I've already paid. That's all right. I don't technically pay until the cultivator. Oh. Okay, so I'm not ready to do this yet. It's just looming. All I can do now is disc. I got to disconnect an extra field. So I'll get my 6 back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So there's that. Okay, and I'm going to pay 1 to disc. All right, that's it. Moving on. Squash we like. Potatoes, maybe we can move it back up to where it was. This person wants to play it safe. So now they're looking at the items. We've got spinach. We don't have anything next to each. Doesn't look like we have a quality move of any sort, so we're just going to keep things as they are, and we'll move carrots up. that's what we'll do. Okay, so radishes. You can look at these charred radishes. Radishes goes to charred. I haven't gambled. Yeah, I'll gamble. Yeah, we'll gamble. I'm gonna go ahead and risk it. Don't have a lot to work with though. There's one. Okay. Boy, taking some big risks in this game. I'm not sure I would have gambled in that scenario. But it turned out okay. We're going to... Oh, I think our stuff got moved. Yeah, it's always tricky when the stuff gets moved. Take our best item. Cucumbers. Yeah, take cucumbers. Why don't we plant? Here's what we're going to do. This is a purely defensive move, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to take these potatoes and the only reason we're planting them is so that if it gets harvested, it'll bump this person out or bump them over here. Technically, I don't know what they have, but as the omniscient player, I sort of do. Anyway, it makes for an intriguing game. Okay, so I plant. Planting is free. Cultivating is not, so that's going to cost 4 tokens. 10 minus 4 is 6 back. 4 in the cup. Okay. Six is, what are we going to do? We could get rid of their something over here. Or we could just, why don't we go ahead and harvest, because it looks like they're going to move our stuff. Okay. 5, 3 back. 2 back. See, this player makes adjustments according to what these other growers are going to do, because this grower has the training house. That means they're going to bump something out of whack every time. Now, what can I do against that? What's the defense against that? Well, what I can do is I can put out a fender doodle. That's where the middle game fender doodle opportunities open themselves up. Okay, but for now, we're harvesting squash. Squash on the wrong one is a sure thing. It's easy to lose sight sometimes of the fact that you're just trying to score tokens. That's the main purpose. So that's a sure thing. Rather than these lofty, well, what ifs or maybes, go for the sure thing first. Okay, haven't gambled. Oh, not gonna gamble. Cucumber cup piece chard. Potatoes. 5, excellent. So now what do we got? Cucumbers and potatoes. We have cucumbers. We're going to harvest both of these for free, so that's awesome. And that's only one action. So cucumbers on cucumbers, potatoes not on the right one. So that's 11. Yeah, 7. 11 and 7 is 18. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Flip these back over. Now, of course, in real life, your fields don't really do that. You have to disc them in. So that's really another step, you know. Whenever you're laboring on something and there's no money being earned, that's kind of the annoying bits, right? But again, that's like life, right? Savvy. Okay, kale and spinach. I'm gonna keep. Wow. Actually, here I'm gonna take care. I'm gonna take advantage of a 3-crop combo, right? Keep the spinach. Turn the kale into chard. If it's in there. Starting to get down to it. Here's chard. Okay, and then I'm going to place my color Finderdoodle, which is green. I can find it. Well, let's say it's this one. Okay, so now we're putting out a baby Finderdoodle, a Primordia. Okay, so there's that. I'll make sure there's nothing else I can do, and there isn't. 5. Alright, so this person wants to harvest their potatoes. They'll do so. Cost of 2 tokens. Potatoes on potatoes is 8 tokens. Oh, no, it's not 8 tokens. It's an oofta. Here we got an oofta. Look at this. Potatoes on potatoes, that's what we harvested. So, but it's on the low end. 5 plus 7 is 12. But we'll take it, right? I'm not going to turn down ooftas. I don't think so. Okay, so there's 12. Get rid of this. Huh. Do we want to keep corn? Maybe. Yeah, so this grower, if you check it out, this grower has an opportunity to have corn. You're still waiting on these peas, remember? If we could just grab a hold of some peas, that would be awesome. So that's a case where you might want to go fishing. On the fishing expedition, you might want to go see if you can negotiate with other growers, right? See if you can get that peas dislodged from their trays. Okay, beans. Moves up. 5 moves down. There's corn. Okay, so that's that. 2. 2 is productive. Indirectly productive. We're going to go with carrots. Get rid of those 2. Cucumber. Okay, so we got potatoes. Potatoes goes to carrots. 4 is productive. Yes. So check it out. We've got radishes and chard, but we don't have the potatoes. We got spinach and corn that are next to each other. Tough times. These are meager times, unfortunately, for this particular grower. Nothing particularly nice. Although they could check out what they could do. Tell you what, this grower is going to contest the peas. They're going to go after peas. It looks good. Seeding is free, cultivating is not. And what can happen is they're going to pay the barrier to entry fee to this grower of 15 tokens. Okay. Actually, we'll wait until, this should wait until the harvest, when you're actually ready to harvest. Don't pay it before then, because you might not actually score. Got to wait till it's a sure thing. Okay, here's a 6, sabotage. Uh-oh. They could sabotage peas. This person says, no, I want to keep peas, so I'll just give you something nice. I'll give you my chart. That's the stuff. Painful, but necessary. Cucumbers. Get rid of. I want to keep cucumbers. Get rid of. Broccoli. There goes broccoli. Okay. So that was negotiation. So why don't we gonna do our second action? No, negotiation was successful. So what we're doing is we still have 2 actions. What are we gonna do on those 2 actions? Well, we could spend. We could get the greenhouse. No, maybe not. Instead of buying, let's just focus on disking. Because now we're ready to talk about 2, 3, and 4 crop combos. Excellent. Okay. 4 is productive. Carrots. Right on the right one. Actually, we're going to bump carrots up a spot. Notice how I can't put it in the top spot because of that figure doodle. We use the trading house then. So carrots, not on the right one, is still worth 14 tokens. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. That costs 1 action. So then we have a second action. Get rid of kale. Okay. Cucumber, kale, peas, carrots, potatoes, carrots, corn, and beans. Okay, now we got corn, goes to beans. Okay, have a gamble. Gonna gamble. No, I already gambled. Okay, so here we have productive. So check this out. Nobody, this person forgot to, it'd be me, but this person forgot to move anything in the market. So this person's going to get away with the 3 crop combo, but that's not so bad because that's what we're trying to demonstrate. So here's the new feature of the game. We've got a 3 crop combo because we have cucumbers and spinach next to each other, creating a 2 crop combo. Then we have something that's spatially adjacent in a vertical position to one of those items. Okay. So what we're going to do is you can't score a 2 crop combo. You can only do 1. You have your choice of a 2, 3, or 4. Okay. And in this case we have 3, so we're going to opt for the 3, and we'll take what we can get. We're harvesting them all at the same time, and we're going to get face value for each one of these, unless there's a bonus. Let's see, is there a bonus? Yep, cucumbers is on the right one, so that's 12. Spinach is on the right one, so that's 6. That's 18 so far. Then we have radishes on radishes, so that's another 7. So we got 18 sevens, 25, right? $25, and then we multiply by 3, so that gives us 75. 60, 75. And then 7 tokens goes to last place, which is over here. And that is a major score, right? And it seems insurmountable, right? But it's not, because 3 and 4 crop combos come late in the game. It's a late middle game phenomenon, right? And so what's going to happen is other growers are going to have a chance to match the 3 and 4 crop combo, or defend against them, right? Try to do whatever they can to get those crops to disalign. That's a made-up word. To misalign, let's say that. And so we're pretty confident that late to middle game is going to be very engrossing and engaging and fun for everyone. So I think we're going to leave it at that. So that was a major score. These two growers are going to compete and try to see what they can do to maximize their productivity, efficiency, and score as many tokens as possible. I want to thank again Print and Play, everyone at Print and Play, for helping me out. This has been quite a saga. Very difficult. It's very difficult to convey and communicate everything that needs to happen when it comes to board games. It's at least as hard as a movie or a book to create, or maybe art. Everything is difficult. So anybody that contributed to UFTA, you are my friend. Trust me on that. And I think with that, we're going to let it go. Until next time, keep on playing UFTA. Bye.